So this is Gravity Rush 2 continuation. It's a very fun story. So it's a very fun story, and I did say I'm going to finally try to attempt to finish Gravity Rush 2. I think it's because it's one of those laid-back games that's you just do for fun. It's the reason why I don't really rush games like this. Like games that I really like, I don't rush. Like Bloodborne, I somewhat rush that, but I don't really. Games like Doom or Doom Eternal, I take my time deciding when I'm going to play those games. And when I do play them, I play them and I finish them when I have time to. Same as Assassin's Creed. I haven't finished the DLC in Assassin's Creed, so the games that I like are the games that I take my time with. And the games that sometimes I don't like as much are the games I'm just trying to get through. So I guess that's a good way to know that you like a game because you take your time at playing that game because you keep coming back to it, you know. In fact, the best way to describe you liking a game is a game you keep coming back to over and over again. I played this once before, but I never finished it, so I'm continuing it on. And it's one of those rare type games as well. Kind of reminds me when I used to. I think when I had signed up for LaGuardia, um, yeah, when I went to that school, how they used to design things. And I kind of the same way how it applies now. Now that I'm going to be taking, I guess, the fall classes for 2025 at School of Visual Arts because I have no intentions of going to that school called FIT. Not because I can't get in, it's because I'm not into fashion. And the whole thing is fashion technology and business management in that field and cosmetics. The whole thing is in the name, Fashion Institute. It says it in the name. They prioritize everything related to fashion. So stuff like comic books, gaming, illustration, that's not their thing. So if you want to like work for Disney, doing a Disney comic or something, or Disney illustration or 3D, that wouldn't be the school for you. Um, I think getting into that school is like a half and half, and SVA is like 60% or something like that. So it's a SVA is more forgiving school because its perspective with regards to visual arts is more broader. In the word describing the school is visual. Anything that you could visualize is what we do in our school. So they're not limited to two, three, four, or even five things. They have different professors that focus specifically in many things. Someone was trying to tell me that FIT is better than SVA. It was like it's only better than SVA in specific categories for which they're school major and not in other criterias. Like if you want to be a comic book artist, like FIT is not that great. Like you would need to go to a proper school in Florida or California, or go to a school like School of Visual Arts, the one I go to, and then after you get your credits, your bachelor's, something, transfer to a much more, if you could get into an Ivy League, or if you can't get to a prestigious university down south or California. That's how it goes. So like you don't take on the job of a culinary artist or the job of a chef. You know, a chef's duty, which is to serve massive amounts of people in a minimum amount of time with food that is good. You don't go to a school like Fashion Institute of Technology to be a chef. You know, it's just doesn't make sense. And you definitely don't go to a School of Fashion Institute of Technology to do something like this, unless they have someone in that school that's a professional in this specific field, which is limited. I'm gonna try to get past most of this conversation. I'll see. I believe if I'm able to get a minimum of 2 hours today and 2 hours on Wednesday, at least 3 days of Gravity Rush. 2 hours today, 2 hours Wednesday, and maybe 2 hours Friday. I should be able to finish this before May the 12th and get a proper evaluation with regards to the game itself. So I'm gonna skip most of this stuff because I understand how it works already. I also think most of this dialogue I did it before, so I have time today to at least get maybe 4 hours of gaming in. Before I have to go to work like late tonight. It really sucks when you have to do overnight work because someone didn't pick up the slack. So you have to come into the office and then try to cover them. Or when someone gets sick. It really is annoying. It's like people don't understand that the word work and job doesn't mean you like it. You're doing it because you have no choice. You say, but you do have a choice. But like, no, you don't. Because if you don't work, you become homeless. And if you become homeless, you become stinky. And if you become stinky, people isolate themselves from you. And you're unable to get opportunities. And they give those opportunities to people who are more willing to do work. The ability to don't want to work with people because you hate everyone only means that you're getting closer towards not working at all and getting money. So we as human beings have no choice but to work with incompetent people, because it's not like you really have a choice. You don't have a choice. But like, don't let anyone fool you with regards to you have a choice with regards to working. You have a choice with regards to what type of job you're doing and how you enjoy your life or not. But for working, for survival, in whatever capacity, you don't have a choice to choose the type of people you're going to be working with unless you own your own business. And if you don't own your own business, it doesn't work that way. See, even in video games, they show you like this character can't just hang around. She has to help out within the village in order to hold her keep. She must do something in the village, otherwise she can't stay there if she just hangs around. So you have to work in order to earn your keep, no matter what capacity it is. So I tend to just ignore people on my job, and if there are any issues that pop up, I have another job to replace that job if such issues pop up. So I'm never really worried about what anyone thinks or believe. Like, if anyone ever raised my stress to a high level, I just dump that company and go to the other one. And if the previous company called me and say, well, you know, why did you quit? It's like, I don't answer them. I just block their number. I have no patience for dealing with any human beings. The only thing I require is money to pay my bills. We are not brought into this world to deal with the immaturity of other human beings. We're just brought into this world to survive, help our family, help our children, so on and so forth. The emotions and behaviors of others is not our individual concerns, unless we decide to take those things on. They must find a way to solve their problems on their own. All you could do is give advice. But all I could say in this video is, if you ever come across a situation, it's best to ignore all comers that give stress. And if you can avoid them, like, use alternatives to substitute to ignore them. And also make sure you have another job. Like, if you don't have one, make sure it comes to the point of view when you start to become real stressed, make sure you have another job, so you never have to worry about not having money. Like, most of the dialogue here I've seen before. That's why I'm talking about things unrelated to this game, because I believe I passed this already. But I'm gonna try to move a little bit faster so I could get to the more juicy stuff. Hey, no problem. This is a legendary game. Very few people played Gravity Rush 2, and I believe the company was so busy doing other things that they never came back to it. I'm kind of sad they haven't made a Gravity Rush 3. There is something I'm doing wrong though, because it keeps teleporting me back to this location, so... Aim camera to decide where to fall. Okay. Return to normal gravity, shift gravity. It's definitely not up. So I am at the right location, but maybe if I run up here, I get teleported back here. It's telling me to go here. Okay, it was just that simple. Just aim towards there. Okay. Oh shit. Yeah, Sony makes a lot of mistakes, especially when it comes to... Well, here's the thing about Gravity Rush 2. Um, Here's the thing about Gravity Rush 2 that a lot of people don't know. Um, it was popular back in the days, Gravity Rush 1 and 2. But unfortunately, I believe 2 was released during a time period of when another popular game was coming out, or at least 2. So let me see. Gravity Rush 2 release date. January 18, 2027. And then if I type in what games were released January 2027. Games were released January 2017. Okay, so the games that were released in January 2027 was Kingdom Hearts 2. So, the final chapter, prologue. So, during the time from 2016 to 2017, people were playing Kingdom Hearts. They were also playing Road Redemption, which nobody really cared that much about. And of course, I believe Friday the 13th, the game had been released. The games that were released specifically in January that were popular was Kingdom Hearts 2. So most of January, people were playing Kingdom Hearts 2. Then if you say, well, what games were released in February 2017, Horizon Zero Dawn was released thereafter, the month thereafter, in 2017. For Honor was released thereafter in 2017. Neo was released in February in 2000. So you see the theme that was going on here. Now, if I put what game was released December 2016, a month before. BioShock the collection was released in 2016. Persona 5 was released December 2016. Uncharted: A Thief's End and Batman Return to Arkham and Dark Souls 3 released in 2016. So that is the main reason why Gravity Rush 2 failed. Not because Gravity Rush 2 was a bad game, or not because that they could make another one. The time period for which Sony released Gravity Rush 2 is completely incompetent. They released it during a month, between 2 months, that they released some of their biggest games. You had Uncharted and Persona in December, then you have Horizon Zero Dawn, and other games like that released in February. So Gravity Rush was stuck between two beast of games. So how was this game able to survive? I mean, you're talking about Batman Return to Arkham, which was in December 2016. No one was going to beat that game within that month, and then directly the month after say, okay, let's see what's going on in January. And then they see what's going on in January, and they realize, oh, should I play Gravity Rush 2 or should I play Kingdom Hearts? And after that is over, let's see what's going on in February. Should I play Gravity Rush 2 or should I play For Honor or Horizon Zero Dawn or Neo or Dark Souls 3? So there was no way Gravity Rush 2 was going to win in the end, which is completely disgusting in my opinion, that Sony is this incompetent in regards to releasing such an awesome game. This game should have been released during a month where there was no heavy competitions. The first Gravity Rush was like an independent game, and the second one was more like mainstream, but still not many people knew about it. So you have to learn to you have to give opportunities to artists who want to show their talents. People who make video games are artists. You make a painting, you're an artist. You make a film, you're an artist. The artist, the artisans type, the small independent have a right to have a say with regards to what they're doing in their form, just like everybody else. So when they release a game, a small game, a small indie game or mid game in between two juggernauts of a game like Neo or For Honor or Horizon Zero Dawn, and then before that, you know, all the way in December you have stuff like Persona 5, you're really screwing the independent artists up. It's insulting. If something is obstructing a way of navigation marker, the marker visually will change to indicate that. Okay. Shift gravity to get around the obstacle. Yeah, I love the cat character. The fact that the cat is the one that give her the gravity power is pretty awesome. It's like the cat is like this cosmic entity, and when it disappears, it cloaks her body with the power of gravity in order for her to levitate. So they have like this synergy. It's like Warframe synergy. It's like a cosmic being or something, but it requires a host, and she's the host in order to give her like the Captain Marvel powers. Well, I wouldn't use Captain Marvel. It's very different actually from that, to be honest with you. Fine, snide. Go ahead. I'm gonna be doing this for about 2 hours. And then directly after, I'm gonna probably play Assassin's Creed 3, the DLC with regards to the girl. And then maybe later on today, I'll play Warframe before I have to go to work and take this guy's shift because he forgot. Or not his shift, it's more like his paperwork I have to deal with. It shouldn't take long at work. I only got like 4 hours to complete whatever it is he forgot to complete. Maybe 5. Whatever the paperwork was that he didn't finish. Wait, find Snide. Okay, now I gotta remember where's the map. Okay, I remember this is part of the game where well, I'm playing this game after all these years because I never finished it. I played it and I believe I got by the halfway point and I never finished it. So it was never completed. I finished Gravity Rush 1 and 2, but I believe because of something that had to do with either school or work, I never got it finished. And I completely forgot about it. Snide, where is he located? Interesting. I wonder if she took damage from that. I doubt it. Okay, so Snide is not located on the map because I guess the tutorial is over. So, and I believe that there's an option menu to indicate where people are. This is a very old game. Well, not super old. It came out in 2017. But it wasn't complicated with regards to button configuration. Okay, so I have to find Snide the long way. There's Snide. What? That's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty awesome. Like if fans would make like the like fan-made games in association with video games that they love. Like if I was really into that type of stuff, I would do it. Like there's a Dino Crisis fan-made Dino Crisis game. After Dino Crisis 3, I believe, people started to make Dino Crisis the remake for the original. So if I had the technology, I would do it because the original Dino Crisis program wasn't that complicated by today's standard. So if you could get like software to replicate the original Dino Crisis program and something that's more with regards to rendering and 3D modeling in today's media, you should be able to do it. Especially if you're doing it for like a small project to get attention. Um, I would do it. I believe the story is like she and this guy Snide were from a different world or a different part of a different planet. They're all within the same universe, I believe, or the same solar system, but they're from a different planet. Yeah, well, that's typically the case. It's an ownership thing, you see. Like when you do a fan-made stuff, it has to be fan-made, but you know, you can't really release something that's a patented product. That's the whole point of something being patented. It's my baby. I just claimed it. So no matter if someone loves it and loves what I do and want to continue what I do, they don't have the right to continue what I do because they didn't create it from the beginning. I did, and only I can decide to continue it. That's how what patent means. When you patent something, it's your baby and only you get to decide to move forward with that thing. It really sucks, but that's the way it is. Because you have to see it from the point of view of the person who created. You're literally making the continuation of someone else's brainchild, a product that's resonating in their brains and continuing on their legacy without their permission. So that's why it's complicated to have patent products or do anything without the say-so of other people. As long as it's like for fan base and you know you're not making any money off of it, you could do it all day. But you have to prove that you're not making any money off of it, because then it's okay. Like you'll be surprised if you have a character called who could fly with a cape. The people who created Superman will have the rights to claim all characters who have the ability to fly and have capes, because before Superman there was no characters that who flew and had capes. See what I'm saying? So in the future, anyone who flies and have capes, DC get a certain percentage of that. Or if they don't want a percentage of it, you have to pay them to you know, to say that you can have a cape and fly. Yeah, I understand. You just want to get it back, yeah. Well, as long as you have authorization to do certain things, you're like, then it should be fine. Usually authorization to do certain things mean you have to, you know, pay someone to be authorized to do it. But like if you have friends in high places, or at least friends associated with the specific product itself, like if you know the creator of Gravity Rush 2 and you become friends with them and they say good to go, or if you request to be an assistant or apprentice to the people who created Gravity Rush 2 to do voluntary work for them freely, as long as you could, the alternative, your, you know, what you want is to make the game, continue the game, then they say, oh, no problem. Um, I typically don't really want to know the details of other people's story, because I don't want to get involved in other people's, you know, life and stuff. I, I think it's best to just like keep certain things to, you know, yourself, unless it's important that you need to express it to other people. Emphasis, important. If it's not important that you must tell me these things, then it's not advisable that you tell me these things, because I'm not gaining nothing from knowing about it, nor are you gaining anything from telling me about it, other than, I guess, therapy or conversation. Oh, this again. Well, it's rather simple. Think about it. It's um, it's always good to just back up yourself in regards to anything that you want to say to anyone, but it must be said to someone who's important to say it to, like a lawyer. You know, saying it to random people won't really help unless you're trying to just shoot the breeze. So if you what you need to say to me is to just shoot the breeze, then it's cool. As long as it's not something that's important or it'll get you in trouble. Another thing about Gravity Rush 2 that I guess a lot of people weren't really into. Lots of people don't like to read, which is an upsetting part. And during the time period of Persona Horizon Zero Dawn, many games were about the 3D model characters talking and then voice acting for it. This didn't have any voice acting, so that was also another thing that turned people off. Like, there's a lot of lazy people out there who just don't want to use their heads. Well, I don't have a lot of friends too either, but you know, to be honest with you, you don't really need a lot of friends. You only need a few friends in order to survive in life. Or if you don't have family members, you need friends. But if you do have family members, then you could use your family members as your friends, so on and so forth. What I'm trying to say is, whatever whatever you could use in order to substitute for something, then you use that. Like, I hate my job, and there's a lot of negative people there, but my substitute for that is the gaming, where I feel happy. and I could separate them independently because one is completely opposite the other. They're like aliens. You know, this game is like a giant size face with many tentacles for hair floating in the sky with a body that's a cosmic universe with many suns inside of it looking directly down on me. And whereas work is a thing that's tethered to a corporeal form that's going back and forth through algorithm, algorithmic, 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 algorithmic circuits, doing the same thing over and over again. That's what human beings are. We're following a set plan day by day, over and over when it comes to work, to do and process something to maintain it or to push it forward. And it could only be pushed forward when the creators decide to implement something new. Otherwise, it's just doing the same thing over and over. That's why they're so different from each other. Because if I was to introduce that giant face with tentacle hair and a cosmic of many suns in its body to the human nature, and if people could actually visually see that, people will run for their lives terrified and think the world has come to an end, because what's in your head is now present physically for someone to actually see in reality. That's why they're so far from each other, because they could never touch each other. Otherwise people would lose their minds and collapse and faint. That's how I separate, you know, one from other. And that's how I do friends and do stuff. But like, I find a balancing point between the absurdly, ridiculously far out there and that which is grounded. Other games I like, I would say, um, there are too many to define, but the ones I like are typically the ones that most people don't play. You'll be surprised. Many people like to play games that would challenge them, like say Dark Souls games and I would say Doom games or Persona games. The games I like to play are more games like I really like more than anything in the world. Are games that have to do with challenging your mind, such as Return of the Obra Dinn. Not many people play that because it's an independent game. And also like games that are adventure rich, such as you're part of the world, you're experiencing the world, you're in the world, you're associated with the world. It's part of who you are and your character. Like Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is, even though it's about Geralt, it's also about the world, what's going on in the world. The war, the characters, Ciri. You get to invest in Ciri's journey in that story past the halfway point more than anything. And at the beginning it's more about Geralt and the war. And then by the time you get to the end it's about taking out the bad guys. You know, but they're making that Witcher game with Ciri. They have to do Ciri justice, because if you don't do Ciri justice, then you're just insulting the game. Because remember, Ciri is Ciri. Ciri is like, I won't compare Ciri to like someone like Jesus or something, because then that's insulting, because she is about using violence to solve problems. But I would compare Ciri to kind of like a King Arthur figure. They have a certain moral compass, and their job is to destroy the world of things willing to infect it from a dark point of view. So you have to see it from that perspective, like the journey games with regards to you being in the world, of the world, from the world, to the world, are the games that are more important to me, because it's a way of pulling yourself out of reality and putting yourself in that world, and you could be there all day long and don't have to be worried about anything. In fact, you don't even have to worry about finishing the game, because you're enjoying it so much. You get to finish it when you can. It's the type of place you want to be. Like, the reason why Bloodborne is my #1 game is not because Bloodborne is challenging. It's because the world that they made is beautiful and the lore is beautiful. As dark as it is, they follow a specific path with regards to checking off all the right boxes with regards to that world. Less about challenging boss fights and more about the intrigue of the world for me. In fact, I have it right in front of my screen right now, and it's a physical representation of what I love more than anything. It's a way of giving me happiness. Every time I come home from work, even whether my day is good or not, the box of Bloodborne is right in front of my face, telling me something. Even if I don't want to play video games for a week or for a year, it has become a part of my happiness. It's less about it being a game and more of what it represents. Oh shit. I keep forgetting she run out of stuff, like she's driving for too long. As cosmic as her powers is, when she uses it for far too long, she... play on PlayStation 5. I believe a lot of the current games you can't play on PlayStation 4 anymore. So you have to switch to a PlayStation 5 to play more current games. I prefer to play the PlayStation 4, but from what I've remembered I couldn't play Horizon Forbidden West on the PlayStation 4 because there was some type of issues, even though they made it for the PlayStation 4. So I had to get the PlayStation 5. I don't remember what the issue was, but I got a PlayStation 5 just so I don't have to deal with the headache. Okay, so this is the entire mine site. So this is not like Doom where you could rotate the cameras up and down. Um, so I have to use my better judgment. Yeah, this is a very laid back game with regards to you really when you're playing this game, you really it's about enjoyment more than anything. If you're like trying to achieve something, um, I don't believe this is that type of game. Um, it's such a unique game. Gravity Rush 2 is such a unique game because the moment you bump into a building or into a wall or something, even if you're upside down, she automatically stands on whatever it is you bump into. So you see, I'm actually upside down. That's why her hair is going this way. But because I bump into it, the gravity allowed me to be stuck to the ground upside down. So it looks like I'm right side up, but I'm actually upside down. Her hair, the indication of her hair will tell you exactly whether you're standing upright or down. Or maybe it's just gravity itself or her power. But I believe I'm upside down. Such a cool game. See? Yeah, I knew it. Another beautiful part about it is like even if you do run out of energy, you just have to fall for a while and then you regain it back. The recovery time is excellent. Bounce, bounce, bounce. You can pinball them pretty good if you get a good, like, setup. You bounce, bounce, bounce. Bounce Cold Gals. I wonder if anyone even remember that movie anymore. The Bounce Cold Gals. It's a foreign film, Japanese. Very unique name, very unique movie. Deal with a lot of heavy issues. Another form of art. Very creative mind now. Yeah, but like if you find yourself in a rut, or you can't balance certain things off in your life, you like create something incredibly ridiculous that's so far beyond the scope of human understanding, and find out where your place belongs there. Like the most zealous, happy place, or the most enjoyable place for you, and then attach it to that very thing you don't want to attach it to, because they'll be on two separate planes of reality. So it's a bit complex if you think about it, but it's not really. You just have to know how to use it. Like if you don't have friends and stuff, you have to know how to, definitely have to know how to use it. You could go to the game called Control or the game called Quantum Break, and then let's say you decide to use those games as a way to balance your life. And what I mean by that is quantum physics. I open the door, I walk through the door, I close the door. But I can't go through the door reverse the same way I entered the door. So how would I do it? To use of your mind, psychic powers. Well, what is psychic powers? That stuff doesn't really exist. Well, in quantum theory, there's a theory, that's why it's called theory, of how to do this. And then you don't have to actually use that, because that stuff is not real, but you can use it to be creative, to balance your life off with regards to creating meters. Especially when it comes to being lonely and having friends and stuff. Like, there's a way to do anything. You just have to know how to create it and separate them apart from each other. So I'm never really bored when I'm broadcasting, because my mind is always in extremely weird places and good places at the same time, and creative places. Because that thing with the whole giant head with many suns in the body is just something I just thought of, just for funsies. It doesn't exist. I just literally just created it in my head. And it's like, I think how I came with that idea just in my head out of the blue is Samaras from Warframe. He's always following you around. Samaras from Warframe is always, every time you enter the room, he's always like this big head following you around to see where you're going. It's so weird. Like most of my videos, you will hear me talking to myself because it's very easy. I have no problem. I have no problem making friends in reality. I have no problem making no friends at all, because I've learned to balance that meter. Now, granted, there are going to be times when I start to get bored, but that typically has to do with hunger. You understand? Games that have effect on me, typically the psychological games have effect on me, but not in the sense that they're going to affect me. I believe my willpower with regards to dealing with horror and stuff has get me pretty grounded with imagination. Oh wait, there's more of them? Okay. Yeah, no problem, man. I'm gonna be rocking this for, let's see, what time is it? About probably another hour. And after that, if not an hour and a half, and after that is Assassin's Creed 3 on the girl side. Because come May 12th, it doesn't matter. Rain, sun, shine, hell or high water, don't matter. It's all about Capcom Fighting Collection 2. There will be nothing played from May 12th to May 31st except that game. Again. Messiah doesn't need my help, but he always needs my help.
Juicy Kushamu. Ura! Ura. 中世
水
エブレット
I have no idea. I've I can't speak for that game. None whatsoever. Maybe it had something to do with finances, maybe not. Who knows? You said Blood Birth. I've never heard of Blood Birth game. Maybe a new game I've never heard of. I mean, the only game I know of is called Bloodborne. But a game called Blood Birth maybe it could be from something else. Never heard of that. Well, if you're talking about stuff with regards to reality, then I know nothing about that stuff. Like Bloodborne succeeded. The game Bloodborne. That game is like the #1 game from Software, or arguably the #1 game from Software. But I've never heard of a Blood Birth. Actually, I might need to go to the restroom right now. Yeah, Bloodborne. Yeah, Bloodborne did succeed. That game succeeded times 1,000. They just never decided to continue a second one. I don't know why. They made like 3 Dark Souls game, and then they made a Elden Ring, and they made a DLC for Elden Ring, and then they made Sekiro and DLC for Sekiro, and yeah, maybe after they finish the Elden Ring DLCs, they'll create another IP, one that doesn't have to do with Sekiro or Bloodborne or Elden Ring, a new IP. Because I'll tell you this, I swear to God, if they make Elden Ring 2, that's when I'm checking out. Because they've made 3 Dark Souls game, then they made Bloodborne, then they made Sekiro, then they made Elden Ring, you know, and I believe they made other games as well. But the game that they're most known for, Bloodborne, or the game that people like the most, if they don't like Dark Souls 3 the most, they like Bloodborne the most, but most people say Bloodborne. If they don't make at least a second Bloodborne, but they make a Elden Ring 2, like, Elden Ring is not even their most famous game. Like, their most famous game, well-known game, has always been Dark Souls. So, if they don't even make their second most well-known game, Bloodborne, a second one, but they make a number 2 to, like, Elden Ring or Sekiro, then I'm checking out, man. Because their most famous game, Bloodborne, is the game that they don't want to make a second one off, which is, you know, that's when I'll probably stop playing From Software games. Like, if they don't make a Bloodborne 2, then I'll check out. Now, if they make a new IP, like a very, very, very new game that has nothing to do with Elden Ring whatsoever, or with Sekiro whatsoever, then I won't check out. Because it means that they are deciding to not dedicate themselves to one thing all the time. Well, of course, I'm a little sad because Bloodborne is their best game, and for some reason they decide to like abandon ship on that game. Speak to anyone on this on in the video game world. They would say that there's something wrong with the company if they don't make a second Bloodborne. But there's nothing wrong with the company if the company decides to make a new IP, because that means they're not dedicated to one thing. But if they decide to go and make an Elden Ring 2, then everyone is going to get pissed off because like if you're willing to make an Elden Ring 2, like why the hell can't you make one from 2015? And the only reason they would make an Elden Ring 2 is for popularity and money. And that's the time I would abandon ship from software because it was no longer about being creative, it's about guac and money. They're abandoning creativity for the mighty dollar. Just like the people who made Cyberpunk 2077, they were forced into releasing that game ahead of time, and they had so many bugs that people don't trust CD Projekt Red anymore. You know. So yeah, I need to use the restroom. I'm gonna probably stop here. When I come back, I'll probably do another 20 minutes, and then I'll hop on to Assassin's Creed 3, the girl side of the story. Yeah, many companies just want money. It's all about money and fame and recognition. But every now and again, you get those people who really love what they do. And when they made Bloodborne, when Bloodborne was created, it wasn't about money because they already made money off Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 1 was their introduction. And of course, Demon Souls. They were becoming well known. By the time they got to Dark Souls 2, after making Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1, by the time they got to making Dark Souls 2, they're already well known in Japan and popular. Not only Japan, but in the US. So they weren't worrying about, you know, they weren't worrying about being recognized anymore. So when they went to make Bloodborne, it wasn't about recognition and it wasn't about popularity anymore. It's about experimenting and doing something they never did before in something that they love, which was a different atmosphere. And everyone received it and it was good and it was great, but they never got back to it. So here's the hoping. That's, I think, one of the reasons why I have Bloodborne, the case for Bloodborne, always in front of my screen, is in hopes that they would make another one day. It's a sad kind of hope, but it's also a hope. So I believe that's another reason why. The main reason is I just love the game and it's part of my existence. But at the same time, it's like this little very, very, very undertone hope that they will make the second one day. But if they don't, it has to be a new IP. It cannot be an Elden Ring 2. Otherwise, I'm completely abandoning ship. Because I don't do that bullshit. Like, you make a game and then you just abandon ship on that game. And you decide to, oh, I want to, do this from now on. It's like, you could do that. But the very game that's made you a famous studio, popular, where people want to play all your games, is the one that you don't want to make a second one off. Doesn't really make sense to me. Because after they made Dark Souls 3, people were expecting them to make Bloodborne 2. But they never did. And I feel them, and I understand them. But at the same time, if they make an Elden Ring 2, I would say screw this company. They don't give a shit anymore. Because no matter how great Elden Ring is, it will never be better than Bloodborne. Not in its best day. Not in its greatest day. All that open world stuff, using torrent, jumping, epic boss fights. No matter how epic the boss fight is, or weapons or accessories are, it would never be better than Bloodborne. Not in its best day. I don't give a shit what anyone says, especially popular streamers. Be like, you're a popular streamer and you're still a fucking 2-year-old to not know that Bloodborne will always be better than that game. Then you will always be a clown. And that's not like opinion. You have to look at things from the nitty gritty, point by point by point by point by point. I should really use the restroom. Starting to cough now. Yeah, but think about it. From the design point, 3D point, to the artistic point, to the journey, to the story, to the lore, to the characters, to the tile sets, to the environment, to the fashion, to the music, to the boss fights, to the surround locations, to the mechanics, to the sound effects on the weapons when you pull them out, pull them in, to the unique design weapons, to the type of enemies, the NPCs, to the type of non-NPCs, combatant enemy types, to the type of allies, to the type of resources, to the type of infrastructure with regards to vegetation, to the moody atmosphere. Everything you could possibly think of in that game was a masterpiece. Everything. And the only two things in that game that was not a masterpiece, the only two things, is that it didn't have a mystery with regards to solving a murder mystery or some crazy stuff like that, and it didn't have puzzles. I mean, it might have, but it didn't have good ones. So, two things from a shit storm of things you could think of. Like, think of anything you could think of. Teleporting, levitating, um, brain teasers, process of elimination. Anything you could think in any game, that game had. That game had teleporting. Whether you like it or think about it or not. It's called using the lantern. Waypoint, teleport from location to location. Teleporting. It's not like teleporting to teleport and then kick an enemy or something, but it used teleporting, it used waypointing, it used base mechanics, it used other things that you wouldn't typically find in that game which was released in that time period. Like if you were to play Devil May Cry, it's most about combat and combinations with regards to pressing buttons. The game had combinations with regards to pressing buttons. Pull out your sword, use your fist, go into a rolling hit. It had combos as well. So it was like a fighting game mixed in with an action exploration game. And there were climbing mechanics, and there was deep underground places you have to explore, and high places all the way in the sky you had to explore. There was all type of things that you didn't expect to be in that game. All right, and it was dark, it was gritty, and it really wasn't made for kids. Actually, three things now I think about it. The one thing one additional thing it also lacked. It wasn't made for kids. So, two things. Mystery, puzzles, and it wasn't made for kids. But I took the wasn't made for kids off because if an adult can't enjoy a game for an adult, then and he has to enjoy it tethered to children, then it has now taken your enjoyment from it because it's tethered to a child, and thus you have to lower your expectations because it's not made for you, an adult. So there's only two things. Yeah. So I say if they make an Elden Ring 2, be like, nah, I'm peacing out. I'm going the other way and probably won't play their game until they make another Bloodborne 2. Let me use this restroom, man. I'm getting into this too much. Alright, so I'm gonna play this for about 20 more minutes.
10歳
Keep it moving.
うら
No, for about 30 more minutes. Because I don't remember how long Gravity Rush 2 was. I know it wasn't that long, but I
え
believe
ったボコ
I'm not sure if I might be able to make it to May 12th, because I have work and I'm trying to do stuff for school. Um, so I won't have time to like play games on the regular. So not sure if I might make it to May 12th with Gravity Rush 2. So when I get the opportunity to play this, I'll play it as best as I can. People say video games aren't education, but like, listen, like, where do you think games get their information to create things from? From reality, from history, from nature. It's not just from the imagination.
10歳と
Oh, Sadie, huh?
Like the best games are the one that gives you a type of education as well. Also, Bloodborne gives you an education with regards to things in reality.
ラマおせち
Even though everything in that world is completely fictitious, it does go with regards to things that deals with morality.
キャーせいや
P. Juduya?
フ
And corruption and
ィブラウン
psychological warfare. It's all there in the game.
おうどう状態フララ
It-
ベーラ
It's just that Bloodborne don't attach itself to a historical point for a specific thing. Because it's fictitious. I enjoy talking to anyone. Like, if you notice most of my videos, I'm always talking, and there's no one there. So, you know, I would be talking regardless of whether you're there or not. Because the whole point of this video is to evaluate it. And so far, even though I'm talking to you, I'm talking about all stuff Bloodborne and of giant things in the head and sky and stuff. I've been evaluating this game pretty hard. The background, the boss fights, the behavior of characters, the text bubbles that are used here. Well, they're not bubbles, they're text boxes that are used here. What's going on? What's happening within the story? Even though there's not someone verbally saying these words and it's all in comic book form, I'm still paying attention to what's going on in the game. So far, the boss is not, the introduction boss wasn't hard at all. It was rather easy, but then again, I don't believe this game was made for you know, complicated players. I think it was made for everyone, including children. But we're now getting a little deeper into the story. Before it was just her being here with Misai and Snide and the other people. Now we're getting a little bit deeper into the story of the game.
Eva Pledu Julune Losasa Joshua
See what I mean? Like, you have to first get past the tutorial section of the game, like fighting the bosses, and then slowly but surely the main meat of the story of the game is revealed in sections. That's another thing I liked about Gravity Rush 2. You have to actually read and understand what's going on. There's no one that's going to tell you. It's presented in the game through text. Like, he's a shady salesman from the Bango settlement, and they want to make sure they keep things kosher in their little village. But there's always going to be like some type of power struggle, and that will show up later on in the game. I believe later on in the game someone wants to, like this game, I believe it deals with the abuse of power or the use of power to take advantage in circumstances. Like she's very much like a Captain America type. Like they know that she has power now and they want to use her power to for propaganda in order to acquire certain things. But she's just doing what she believes is best for others while there are other people on the side. So it deals with a lot of human issues in reality as well. But I like how the game separates them. It doesn't like throw it all at you at once. It slowly but surely reveals these things in time as the story progresses.
Oh, yeah.
To some people it seems slow, but here's the thing, it's not really slow. It's as slow as you press the button, the X button. You could pretty much go fast, like say, yeah, I'm getting the picture. Oh, and Lisa said that for you and your partner, make sure, make sure to split it.
Sui.
Alright. Even after I did all the work, oh yeah. Oh well. Awesome. I got some gems now. Precious gems for the power, blah blah blah. You have enough precious gems. Press triangle, okay, to power up. Power up. Excellent. This is what I've been waiting for. This is the badass stuff right here. You eventually got to really use her power to a high degree later on, but it really depends. I like the game giving you the options to pick what you want. Sliding attacks or jumping. Slide jabs that jumps are added. Add more dodge attacks or add to the number of times you can dodge in a row. Well, dodge attacks are good, but dodging really depends on how you manipulate. Well, then again, if it's an AoE attack, it don't matter if you dodge. It's AoE. It's 360. Special effect. I'm not sure if this is important at the time. Combo attacks are powered up. I got 500. This costs 500. Dear God. Just for one power up is 500. My God. And that's only 10%. Oh shit. Wow.
Okay.
Oh?
Well, I'm past my 30s, that's for sure. But I never really tell people my age because it's not very important. Like, when people start to ask specifically my age, but like, yeah, I don't know you like that. My response is like, I don't know you like that to give you my specific age. I'm not shy about my age or anything, but I don't really, you know, think it's important to toggle on specifics. Like, where I specifically hang out or who I specifically hang out with. All those things aren't important in this life to me.
と。
Sui.
おう。
I also believe this game is meant for people to read out loud because it's very quiet in the background. You hear the background music, but the forward seems very quiet. So games like this, and what was the name of that game? Witch on the Holy Night. That's also a game. God damn it. So many good ones. It's between Rock, the Gator Detective, and Witch on the Holy Night. I really need to know which one I'm gonna purchase come July or September, because June is Doom Eternal. But I really want to get back into that mystical space of independent gaming. And that game is like just like this. You have to read everything. But it's more animated. It's AI generated. My best mystery, I believe my best mystery game is probably the Sherlock Holmes. But I believe if I was to really think about a game I liked a lot was Return of the Obra Dinn. Even though it's not a really mystery, a process of elimination game. I've been thinking about a lot of games. Okay, maybe I should stop now because these are all tasks I'll have to do. There's the mission, the main story mission. I'll tag that. And I'll do that. Or should I tag it? Story mission already completed. This is already completed. Okay. Story mission. Open map. Announcements. Recommended missions. Dream Doll. Angel Doll. Recommended. Oh boy. Evasion. News. New episode, another story, Raven's Choice. No, I'm not gonna deal with Raven yet. She's a different ball of wax. Her story will come later on. Alright, so I believe at the moment I should stop here. Let's see, what time is it? Yeah, I'll stop here. 1 hour and 51 minutes is fine. Continue. Yeah, Assassin's Creed 3. Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now since I have the time.